Hey guys, welcome back to Shut Up Chanel. Get ready for part two with Kiki Xtravaganza. And welcome back to Shut Up Chanel, the podcast where we dive deep into my journey within the LGBTQIA plus community, celebrating the individuals who have not only influenced me, but have become integral parts of my story. Today, we've got a true inspiration. No joke. My family, my heart, the one and only Kiki Xtravaganza. Kiki is a phenomenon and a fixture in West Hollywood known for her iconic mask and legendary presence. As a proud member of the legendary House of Xtravaganza, Kiki has taken the drag world by storm. Beyond her stage persona, she's a talented wardrobe stylist, performance artist, and master rhinestoner, making her mark both on and off the stage. Join me, Chanel Perrillo, as we embark on an extraordinary journey through Kiki's life and career. We'll dive into her beginnings, her rise to stardom, and the incredible impact she's had on the world of drag and beyond. Kiki was recently christened as a saint by the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence Los Angeles chapter, and her tireless work as an advocate continues to inspire and uplift everyone around her. To know Kiki is to fucking love her. So, darlings, grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let's dive into this fabulous conversation with Kiki Xtravaganza. And remember, stay connected with us on social media for all the latest updates and exclusive content. Join the conversation on Instagram at Shut Up Chanel Pod. Watch our captivating videos on YouTube at Shut Up Chanel Pod. And please go to Patreon to unlock full episodes at Shut Up Chanel. And stay fabulous, my darlings. Let's get into this episode. Welcome to the stage, Kiki Xtravaganza.
Shut up, Chanel! Shut up, Chanel! Chanel, shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up, Chanel! Shut up, Chanel! Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, Chanel! Shut up, shut up, shut up, Chanel!
Okay, so let's go back during the 90s and finish the 90s.
Let's wrap up the 90s.
The mid 90s, I got hit up by Jean Paul Gaultier to do his fashion show at the Shrine Auditorium. And I was like, yeah, I would love to. That's when Madonna came out and her titties were out.
Yes,
Remember that?
Yes, that's huge.
And I told Madonna, I was like, hey, can I get a picture? And she's like, Hector, my titties are out. I was like, okay, from the neck up. She's like, after the show. I was like, okay, because I already knew her. Oh, okay. And I also did Terry Mugler's show in 95 at Century City. And I met all the girls.
The supermodels of the world.
Yeah, met all of them.
So Christy Turlington, who else we got? Cindy Crawford, Linda Evangelista, Naomi Campbell.
Did you know that Naomi Campbell was taught by my House of Xtravaganza how to walk? We taught her at the Piers in New York how to do runway. And that's where she started. She started doing runway on the Piers in New York.
I always knew Naomi was House of Xtravaganza. You could just feel it. You could feel it.
Yeah, she just has it in her. So yeah, that was another big show that I've done. But for me, it was like, wow, I'm with Celia Cruz. I'm with Billy Idol. I'm with, by the way, Billy Idol sends me Christmas cards for years.
Oh, we love you, Billy.
Yes. So yeah, it was a slew of celebrities in the show that I got the pleasure of finally meeting.
I didn't know. So wait, when you say that you were a part of the Mugler show, what did you do? Styling?
Yeah, the outfits were already set.
Yeah,
I had to help.
Oh, you were dressing. You were like doing what we do backstage at Marco Marco's show. Okay,
exactly. We did all that for them. But in that was like, I can't believe I'm looking at Christine Turlington naked. Oh, Linda Evangelista. Oh, Jasmine. I mean, there were so many models that, remember the corset with it looked like the front of a motorcycle with the rear view mirrors?
Yes. Oh my God. We have to find that picture and throw that in here for the listeners. Or for the viewers.
Yeah, that was the premiere of that outfit. And I was just like blown away that was even possible. And
Hmm.
as she walks the runway, she pulls out a lighter from the corset thing and lights a cigarette. And I'm like, well, you better. It was part of the outfit, the whole look. But yeah, that was a moment that I'm like,
And
wow, I
at
did.
this time during the 90s, are you friends with drag queens? Like, how did was drag in your life at this point?
Um,
I'm just curious.
well, I would say
I'm like, what
Alexis.
kind of crowd were you hanging with? Were you with like just the artsy, like creatives, or were you also with like
No.
queens and like go-go dancers and stuff like we are now?
Okay. Well, my first experience with drag was with Raja.
Wait, your first drag queen was Raja?
Yeah, it was in Orange County at Oz or Alibis
Oz.
or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was some club, and my friends had taken me there, and I was mm, uh, just struck, like, wow, like she has that. She has that it on stage. It's like nobody else but her, and I was in awe. Oh, so also Alexis Arquette.
That's
She
next
was
on my
my
list. That's next on my list for sure. Yeah. Tell me about how you know Alexis Arquette and your story with her. And I know your story is so beautiful with her. And so tell me.
yeah, Alexis Arquette comes from a very big family of actors. Patricia Arquette, David Arquette, Roseanne Arquette. These are all people I know now. I've been to dinner with all of them. Anyway, so Alexis and I became really good friends. Well, she was 19, and I don't remember how. I was in my 20s, and we just clicked. And it was before she transitioned. It was before her, but she was like one of those humans that had no fucks to give. Like, I don't give a fuck. And I'd be like, oh, she would take me to sex parties and I'd wait outside because I'm like, I'm not going in there. She's like, I'll be right back. Or,
Wait, so
uh,
tell me, I want to know how the two of you met. Like, do you remember how you met?
I don't
Like, were you at an
remember.
event? Did someone introduce you? Like,
I can't remember. I have,
were you at a club? Like at a gay? Was it a gay bar? Like, did you guys meet in the gay
pro-
scene or was it like work related?
probably because we both like the same things. I'm going to say we met in the early 90s at Peanuts.
Mm.
That was we would just go there because we wanted to go out. And she lived a few blocks from me. So we were always like hooking, we'd always be hanging out. We were crazy together. We really were. She put me in drag for the first time. I don't like I have pictures of me and her in drag, and I'm like, girl, you got to learn how to do drag makeup. But I look like a Bozo the Clown kind of.
And
But
this is before she identified as a woman.
yeah, definitely. She was 19.
Mm-hmm.
Later on in life is when she identified, and she had a TV reality show too, as well, which I don't remember the name of.
I
But
don't remember it either, but I do. I remember when I first started going out in West Hollywood and I would meet you at Food Bar. She was always at Food Bar with us.
yeah, she'd always wherever I was, she was there. And when I had a fashion issue, oh, I need to look like Madonna, or I need to do that, I would just go to her house because Alexis knew fashion probably better than I do. Like she was on point with her looks, head to toe, and of course she had the money. So
Mm-hmm.
she always took care of me on a fashion level. Like, oh, I got you. Come over. And
It seems to me that you're one of these people that, and it's probably because it was instilled from you as a little boy with your mom, but like celebrities feel safe with you. And I
yeah,
always felt that way as like a talent wrangler. Like, what is it about me that like, but I just think you have one of those personalities, like celebrities, like they feel like they could be themselves around you because you're not, you see them for real people.
yeah, and it's also a vibe and energy that we carry. Also,
Mm-hmm.
I I'm working as Kiki at the clubs, and I can tell when somebody is not well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe broke up, lost a job, going through a bad time. I sense that. I don't know if it's because I got sainted as one of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. I was sainted by them. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
But
I am bringing that up. I have that. I
I
have that
have
listed too.
I have that gift. And so what I do is I go and I give people hugs. Just I get off stage, I go over there and I say, "You need a hug," and I hug
That
the
is your thing.
yeah, and then they'll come back weeks later and say, "You know what? That hug really changed my life, and I want to thank you. I want to buy you a drink." I'm like, "No, it's okay. I just know when people need love." And that's
Do you think that you've saved lives, Kiki? I think
yeah,
you have.
yeah, I have. I know I have. You know, it's something that why I think I'm still on this earth because I haven't finished my work. I haven't finished what I'm. I've lost so many, you know, so many during the AIDS pandemic.
I was gonna say we haven't even gotten to what AIDS was like for you during
Yeah,
that time.
I lost my top 10 friends. I lost 9 of them. I was waiting like, okay, I'm next. I'm next. I'm next. I'm next. And I'm still here. I'm I know that God has a purpose for me, and I think it's the love because there's such shortage in love these days, especially here in this city and in LA. People are just different.
Disconnected. They're
Yeah, they're
disconnected.
just not. And for me, I'm all about energy and vibes. And that's to me, you could talk all you want and wear Terry Mugler and wear high fashion. No, for me, it's the energy. If you could look like $1 million, but if you're giving me like
Mm-hmm.
jealousy vibes or negative vibes,
We sniff it, and we
I
can't
do.
help it. We can't help
I
but sniff
can't.
it.
And I am the first to tell you that I can't fake anything other than my mask. I fake my, you know, but I
The
can't
mask,
fake it.
the mask is your armor, Kiki, against
No,
all the energy that is in this
but
city.
but you'll never see me out without sunglasses on either when I'm Hector, because that is the eyes to your soul, and
Mm-hmm.
and in that I don't want people to see my soul unless I choose for you to see my soul. I'm
Which is
done.
why I feel privileged when you do take off your sunglasses to have a conversation with me.
Yeah, your family. We've
But it's so true.
grown up. Yeah, and Marco, working over there and having you there is you can't get better than that. Like hanging out with your family and working with your family and doing what you love to do. What else is there? You know,
So let's go back a little bit. This is also beautiful, and I love you so much. And
thank you.
so nude. What happens with nude? When do we shit? When do we kind of? When does take me through the early two
The,
thousands?
yeah, it was my partner Rona.
Mm-hmm.
After we both got fired, she met one of the biggest attorneys in Beverly Hills. She got caught up in that, and she was living the billionaire's life, you know. So she kind of put the nude in the back burner. So I was running everything. I was doing the designs. I was doing the production. I was going to the sewers. I was going to the ship everything. I had, you know, all of that got just so heavy on me. Even though the papers and the newspapers are still coming out with, you know, nude this, nude that. I wanted to keep it going, but I couldn't do it alone. And that's what I was like, I just can't do this anymore. And I had to give it up because, you know, she was living on, you know, this other world. Oh, I can't come into work today. We're redoing the whole kitchen and we're doing the backyard and you know, in a house in Bel Air. So, you know, I get it. You don't need money. So
Yeah. So she didn't
so
need it, but you needed it.
yeah, and I couldn't do it alone because she was my partner. Like she would help me on this end, I would help her, and it was a partnership. So when the
Yeah.
partnership dissolved, it was like, well, I did it for 2 years by myself. I really did. And I tried, but it was a point where I just said, I can't. It's just overwhelming. It was just overwhelming for me, and I had to just let it go and move on. And I went back to styling. I went back to my roots, which was wardrobe, and I got to then that's where RuPaul comes around, and I started doing music videos for Jinx Monsoon, Alaska, Willem, Eureka, Brooklyn Heights, Hiding Out of the Closet. I mean, the list goes on. So I did all their music videos and styled all of those. And then I gave that a break because it was just a little too overwhelming and the money wasn't there. I wasn't getting paid what I was getting paid from Mary
You
J.
deserved
Blige.
better. Yeah. And like
Yeah,
you had put in the time
yeah,
and you kind of felt like you were kind of like starting back at the beginning.
yeah. And it was trying, but I said, I don't want to pursue it because of so much work involved and not getting paid for the work that you put out, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I started rhinestoning, and I've been rhinestoning what, 6, 7, 8 years. And it
And
all
no
start
one rhinestones better than Kiki.
oh, I can tell you right now, I am the best rhinestoner. I've rhinestoned Boo, Marco, the last 2 years has won Emmys for his costumes. That I have the pleasure to say that I rhinestoned those costumes. One of them took me 80 hours. The other one took me 50, 60 hours. But I did the rhinestoning. And in a group effort, we got an Emmy. So for me, that lets me know I'm doing a good job. You know?
Congratulations, sis. And it's so well deserved. And I love whenever I see Kiki rhinestoning in the studio, you always say, "This is my therapy." What do you mean by that?
Okay. Oh, you're gonna make me cry again. Oh. Okay.
We'll talk about something funny after this.
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. My mom, as a child, like I was telling you, she would sit up until 4 or 5 in the morning, doing her thing with the needle and the hair, making all these wigs and things. And for me, I didn't want her to be alone, so I would sit next to her and watch TV or play or do whatever. And that is when I started rhinestoning. It reminded me of my mother and how I sit there 4 or 5 in the morning rhinestoning away. And it hit me. It was like, wow, I have the gift too. I thought I didn't have the patience for hair, but I have the patience for the rhinestoning because it's such a beautiful thing when it finally
Mm-hmm.
flourish. Um, and so for me, it takes me back to my mother, and I feel like I'm with my mother when I'm rhinestoning, and it gives me that therapy um, that I need. Everybody has their way of dealing. I don't have that kind of money that I'm going to go pay a therapist so he could tell me what I already know. I just do me, and as I rhinestone, I go through life, and I plan, or I talk about through things, of shit that I'm
No,
crazy.
that's my when you focus on something at a repetition like that, it's a meditative state that you
Yeah,
put yourself in. And I also want to say, and that makes you clear headed and it gives you time to just be in your own thoughts, which is what I
yeah,
think you're saying. If I was your therapist, though, I would also say that like maybe you are also like healing a little bit of your inner child by doing it. Like you said, it
yeah,
makes you feel like you're little, like
yeah. It's a lot of
you're probably healing that's your inner child that like is coming out when you get to rhinestone, probably, huh?
yeah. I get to be in the state. I mean, even the chair that I rhinestone here in my house, I have my little rhinestoning area. That chair was the chair that my mother had when she was making her wigs. So that
Oh,
chair, when
Hector, you're gonna make me cry now.
I know,
That's so beautiful.
and I sit in that chair, and I just like I just feel closer to my mother. I feel closer to my mother's spirit. You know, I know she's here. I know she's with me always, but I love the connection of that we both, and also my father was a dentist. So we are all really good with our hands.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it took me a while, but now I love rhinestoning. Like Raja, I do all of her All-Star season, did all that. And it was going to her house and sitting there and manifesting this that she had created, and for me to help be a part of that and to see it on stage was like, no, I'm just kidding.
Wait,
I
wait,
had,
for
I had
those,
another.
for those, for those just listening, Kiki just put up a lipstick, the Drag Race lipstick with the name Kiki on it. Who made you that?
My friend did.
It's
He's
so
like,
good.
it's you're a chop. He's like, yeah, you're a chop,
That's such a good gag, like a gift to give someone. That's a really good
right?
present. Yeah, it's
Right.
brilliant.
But yeah, so the rhinestoning has brought me full circle into, it's grounded me, you know.
Hmm.
I get to do Kiki and be out loud and laugh, but what I love is peace and quiet, and that's what I get from rhinestoning, the peace and
Yeah.
quiet of my
Comfortable.
mind.
I think it's like comfortable silence, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, we need that. We need to be in our own thoughts, or else,
We do, or
oh,
else you go crazy. And I'm
yeah,
lucky I realized that a little bit earlier. Like, cause if I think if I would have just kept going, I might have wound up like more mentally ill. But
yeah.
I think COVID was a real, like, COVID
Oh,
grounded me. And I was so scared. That was the first time I like really sat in my thoughts. And
yeah,
it scared me, you know, because it's like I hadn't
yeah,
talked to myself, and the
yeah,
conversation you have with yourself is the most important, is what I've learned. This is all just my own opinion, is like the
yeah,
most important relationship you're going to have. And I didn't realize how awful I talked to myself for so many years, how
yeah.
hard on myself I was. But yeah, it's like the more alone time you spend with yourself, the more like self-love you kind of give to yourself, I think.
And during the pandemic, I had to throw my roommate out because he wouldn't stay home. He was always out, and I've had
Oh,
every,
that's not. Yeah, you've had a rotating door. If those
yeah.
walls could talk in your apartment.
So I had to live here by myself for that amount of time, and I got from one side of the apartment to the other. Took me 6 months, but I did everything that I needed to do, and it was like such a healing experience to be able to get rid of, you know, the old and make room for the new. And for me,
Hmm.
that's
Oh,
why.
one of my favorite memories of during COVID, such an awful time, but like there was always those moments that were beautiful during it. But like Kiki would literally walk to our house every day, and you would knock on our window and we'd smoke a little weed through the window just to like feel connected towards each other. But like that meant
Yeah,
so much to me that you would come and check on me on your
yeah,
nightly walk to get out of the house. Like
yeah. I
that's when I
had
was
to.
like, you are one of my best friends.
Yeah, I know. I just I needed to see other human, my family. I also did that with Rhea. She used to live
Hmm.
by Food Bar, and I do my little 5 mile walk a night, and I'd start over there because you know being here 24 hours a day, you just get like I
You
need to
go
do something,
crazy. Yeah. And
and
well,
you
you're
can't
a
go.
social person. You're a naturally a social person, especially
y-
when the sun goes down. You know what I mean? And so it's like, yeah, you would have gone crazy. And now
Yeah,
you and Ray are roomies
I
again.
know. I love it. She's been such a help for
I want
me
to
in
go
my life.
back a little bit.
Okay.
So you told me the story about how Kiki came about, but I want to know how House of Extravaganza came about. For those listening that like don't, if they just happen to not know what House of Extravaganza is, will you tell them for me? Tell the listeners.
Well, it started with a Madonna Blonde Ambition tour. She hired Jose and Louis Extravaganza to be dancers. then she loved what they did. Actually, she met them at the Sound Factory. She had come to the club, and the house was doing her thing, voguing and battling and doing her thing in the club, and she saw it and she loved it, and she was like, I want you guys on my tour. I want you to be they didn't even have to audition. So then they're the ones that brought the extravaganza into my life, because that's when I met the house, is through Louis and Jose. And I was like, wow. And I've already seen Paris is Burning and other things, but it was an art form, and I had that. Now, I hate to tell all these listeners that you cannot learn how to Vogue. I'm sorry, you could go to classes, but that's somebody else's type of dance. Voguing comes from within you. There's only one way of voguing, and you have to bring it out from yourself. That's what voguing is. Voguing is not ballroom. It's not couple dancing. It's an alone thing that whenever I vogue, my eyes are shut. I don't see, hear anything but the music, and I go off. That's just the art form of voguing.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's so diluted. Like
Well,
some
because
TV
I think
show.
they're trying to make it formatted, and there's no
Yeah,
format to voguing because it's an
there
art form.
there isn't.
It'd be like
And
copying the way a painter paints a portrait. Like that's not
no,
creative.
you have to pull it out of yourself, and that's how I found my freedom, was through voguing. And for me, voguing I was always excited to hear that beat or to hear that song, and I'm like, oh my god, and I'd start going off, da 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 da, and live. Now, yeah, you could go take a voguing class and learn the basics, but voguing is something that has to come within and out of you, not some, because all you're doing then is copying. And
Mm-hmm.
so, okay. So then from the Blonde Ambition thing, me and Louis became really close friends. I mean,
Who
he became,
I got to meet Lewis with you because we went to Madonna's. There was the documentary that came out about
oh yeah, we went
what was
there.
that documentary about? It was a documentary about the Voguers on Madonna's Blonde Ambition tour. And that's where I met Louis Xtravaganza with
Yeah.
you. That's so
So,
crazy.
so he became my roommate, and then we used to go to New York a lot. And that's when I met my mother, Carmen Extravaganza. Now, my mother, Carmen, is one of the most famous in ballroom. She, you become a legend, and that's something else I want to talk about. You become a legend, and that's after 10 years of being in ballroom, winning your category. Then you become an icon. Then that's 20 years of becoming an icon. Now, once you keep winning and doing your category, then you become Hall of Fame icon. And that's who she was. Now, my father, which was grandfather Hector Extravaganza, he started with ballroom. He went all the way to the top, to the part where he was grandfather to several houses, not just the House of Extravaganza. He is the biggest. You could ask anybody in ballroom. The biggest name in ballroom is my father, Hector Extravaganza. So these two were my mentors, my my life,
And when you say Hector, you're talking about the who I know, who I would always refer to
yeah,
him as grandfather
yeah, yeah,
Extravaganza.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's
Who, by the way, used to totally help me cast the Marco shows in the beginning. And
yeah,
God,
yeah,
we love you, Hector. We love
yeah.
you so much.
Let me just tell you a little thing about Hector. We talk almost every day, and I was on the phone with him, and I was having some sewing problems in my machine, and I was sewing something, and then I said, "Oh my God, this thing broke." Da, 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 da. Hey, the next day I get a knock on the door, and I got a brand new sewing machine delivered because
Oh,
he sent it to me, and
what an angel.
I was like, you don't have to do that. I mean, it just fills my heart to know that this human being was such a light to so many,
Mm.
and I'm blessed to have shared life with him. God, so blessed. And the same with my mother.
Mm-hmm.
May she rest in peace. So yeah, so during the 90s, I started bringing up voguing and ballroom and to LA. And then in 2010, at one of the balls, the awards ball, I got an award on my wall for being a pioneer for bringing ballroom to the West Coast. So I was like, wow, I didn't know I did that. But it's true. It was like, we need ballroom in LA. And this was way before, all it blew up. It just blew up recently. But before that, it was like, what's that? But I mean,
Mm-hmm. Is that what they do in the Madonna video? Like, I remember being a little girl hearing about what voguing was, and it didn't even click until I started working on RuPaul's Drag Race, and then I was like, oh, so that's what Madonna was talking about, was the
well,
ballroom scene the whole time. Like, that's so wild.
and the other wild thing is that RuPaul snatched a lot. I mean, I've never seen her at a ball, and I'm not trying to read,
Mm-mm.
but when she first started RuPaul Drag Race, she had a lot of one-liners from Paris is Burning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, girl, you're not even in ballroom. Like, what are you doing?
Michelle
But
Visage was a part of ballroom for a little
oh
bit.
yeah, she
Yeah,
was.
Michelle has the
No,
street cred. Michelle,
oh,
Michelle used to compete in Face Visage.
yeah.
That's how
No,
she got the name Michelle Visage.
yeah. I know. I know her history. I've seen her at the ball. Yeah, back
Oh
in the
my God,
day.
what was that like? Wait, so do you remember Michelle Visage from the ballroom days?
Yeah, she was amazing. She would win. She would win a lot. Same with Tracy Lissette. She's
Mm-hmm.
another. She's another ballroom icon. But yeah, Michelle. I'm trying to remember if it was Penjarvis or what house she was from, but she was part of a house, and she would do her thing. And I didn't know her other than her later on when she had a singing career.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It
that's
takes two.
so she, yeah,
Seduction, baby.
yeah, she, but yeah, I don't really
Yeah,
remember a lot other
yeah.
than knowing that that's Michelle Visage on the runway or whatever she was doing competing. It was Face, I believe you said, right?
Yeah. And then Paris is Burning. What were you around when they were filming this documentary? What's like your tea on Paris is Burning?
Well, my mother Carmen was on there. She's the one that said, uh, but she still has that voice. Remember that when she was on the
Mm-hmm.
beach?
Yes, I do.
She's been part.
We'll insert that clip right here.
Yeah, she was part of the documentary,
Mm-hmm.
and so is my father, Hector. He's also,
And Venus, right?
and of course Venus. She just got inducted. Her house where she lived got inducted as a monument in New Jersey for
That's so
for
special.
it is. It was
I
like
knew she was a Jersey girl.
yeah. Her house has a plaque that says this is where Venus Extravaganza lives.
Oh, that's
Live.
beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I never got to meet her, but I met a lot of the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
May they rest in peace. Angie Extravaganza, which was the mother at the time before Carmen,
Mm-hmm.
she's the one that gave Carmen the title after she passed away. Oh, Willie Ninja was also in Paris is Burning.
Yes, Willie Ninja was.
Me and Willie Ninja and Javier Ninja opened up for Grace Jones at the Palladium here in Hollywood. Get your tea.
Take me there. Take me there. What was that
Well,
like? What
they
was that like?
they were asking for Vogers, and of course, I was very well known back then because of that. And I went. I didn't know Javier and Willie were going to be there because I know them, and so they had like podiums for us to Vogue on top of until the show. Then the show happens, and Grace Jones is on a swing and the curtains are closed, and she's swinging into the crowd and then back behind the curtain and then into the crowd, back into the curtain. Okay, so then I'm over here, like, because we were VIP or whatever, we were like on the ready. So then she called me up, and I started voguing. And so at one point, I'm on my knee. You know, when you're like, what do you call that? When you propose to somebody, you get on it one knee.
Yeah.
So I was doing this pose on the one knee, and I'm voguing, and she decides to sit on my knee for the whole song. My foot fell asleep. I was like, voguing behind with her butt on my knee, and that was a moment. I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe Grace Jones is like sitting on my knee. But then later on in life, she invited me to the Hollywood Bowl when she performed there a couple of times, and I went with Mother Carmen. Another time I went with Raja, but it's always nice to see her.
I think I went that one time with you and Raja.
Yeah, it was.
It was at the bowl, and
yeah.
we like drank wine in the park before, and then went. It was everything.
It was. I mean, she's just 70 something, and doing what she does is beyond. She was last year. She performed at the Gay Pride, and I remember I was working at Beaches and I couldn't go, so when she went on stage, I went to that alley and I was like breaking the tree branches off the fence so I could catch the glimpse. And she was up there with her body paint thing, and she's just amazing. I'm in awe of her. You know, and she was also
my mom partied with Grace Jones.
Work, bitch.
In the 80s in New York City. My mom's like, that's her claim to fame, is that she did with Grace Jones. Because I remember when I told her that like all my queens like worked with Grace Jones, she's like, oh honey, I did with Grace Jones at Studio 54.
Oh my God, I used to go there.
I know. I wonder if you partied with my mom back in the day. Like, this is very possible. She had short blonde hair. You would have thought she was fabulous.
Oh my God, how
you
crazy
probably could have. And my parents, my parents loved the gays. So
yeah, let me tell you a story about Sound Factory and Limelight and all those clubs.
Tell the children about those clubs. Tell them.
It was unbelievable. It was like the Club Kid era. It was wild and crazy, and I got to live it, you know, and it was just like, this is unbelievable. Like, there's no club that you could even compare nowadays to what that energy was. And the thing was that the clubs were built on wood, like wooden floors. And the reason being was because of the bass of the music would go and filter through the wood, and you could feel the music. Now we're dancing on cement. You don't feel
so true. You don't feel the music. And they try to mimic that with like bass, but it's not the same as like feeling it.
No. But when you build on top of the cement, you build a whole floor, then the bass and everything comes through.
Did you go to 54? Because my mom would always talk about how they had this room that was like all beds, and that's how like the phrase disco nap came about, because people would go and take naps in this room, and then they would wake up and go downstairs and keep dancing.
Okay. And riding on a horse.
No, when I first started going out in Wheel, I remember telling my mom, like, I have to take a disco nap. And she's like, where the hell did you learn that from? She's like, that was our phrase.
She was Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel used to be security guard for Sound Factory and the Limelight. And that's where he started. He started as a security guard. Yeah, let me finish this story. This is good.
Keep going. Go.
I was here in Hollywood being my stylist self, and I got a call saying, hey, Vin Diesel is looking for somebody that knows about nightlife. So I was like, yeah, I know everything about nightlife. So I went and I had a word with him and his sister, and they said, hey, we're looking for somebody to do late 80s 90s fashion. Because he's doing not a documentary, a movie set upon his life, how he started as a security guard. So I went and I auditioned, and the first thing he said to me, "Have you ever been to?" And he named all the clubs that I've been to. I was like Sound Factory, Limelight, Tracks, a few other clubs, and I was like, "Yeah, I've been to all of them." And he's like, "Okay, well then you got the job." I go, "That's it? I got the job." And I got the job, and I got to film for 6 weeks this a Netflix series. Through word of mouth, he found out about Kiki, and then there was a part in one of the episodes where they wanted drag queens, and they asked me if you knew of any, and I was like, "Yeah, I know all of them." So then he says, "Okay, call up. Let me see some pictures." And then they're like, "Kiki, show him your picture." I'm like, "No, no, no, no." So he caught wind, and he's like, "Oh no, Kiki, you're amazing. We need to write you in. We're going to write you into the script." And I'm like, "But I can't talk because I have the mask on." He's like, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Okay." So I got Detox. I got Vicky Vox. I got Louis Xtravaganza. His alter ego name is Tatiana. I got Ernie Omega. I got a few of my club kids and drag queen friends. And then we had to take stunt classes because we had to get in a fight in front of the club. Me and Detox. I mean, I even have pictures of when they pulled her wig off. But we had to fight these Arab rich guys, and so we kicked their ass. But we had the best time doing it. And Vicky, I mean, it was such a moment that I'm like, I can't believe that happened. But I was just doing wardrobe on for all the characters. But when they threw me in, I was like, oh, and then I couldn't speak, and I had told them. So that was my first time ever dressing in without the mask. I had my outfit on, and then they did my whole entire face with makeup, and I had to, speak and say my words. But that was the only time you'll see me in drag.
Where can we find this documentary?
It's on no, it was on Netflix. I don't know where they go to die, but that was 12 years ago.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up. It's called Where They Go to Die.
No, it's called The Ropes.
Your fashion career, when did you kind of enter nightlife, or was nightlife always also a part of your life?
No, it was the Fergie video.
The Fergie video. That's what started it.
Yeah, she's the one that named me. She named me Kiki. And Mustache Mondays and Foo Bar were the first clubs to hire Kiki. And I was hesitant, but I did it. And then the rest is history. Then I moved on, and I've done every club you could think of, from downtown Long Beach, Long Beach downtown, Silver Lake, all of West Hollywood. And it's just, it brings me joy, but it also helps me step out of my reality and become something, and then have that moment, because it gives me the freedom to be, over the top crazy, which I couldn't do as Hector, because I'm just not, I don't like the attention. But Kiki loves attention.
Well, and it also makes sense. Like, you were a trained ballroom dancer, who I have a note that you you won dance competitions. So
Yeah.
you kind of get to express yourself by dancing.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that was my first way of releasing all my gayness, was through dancing and getting the attention of my aunts and my uncles, and at the parties, and I'd be like dancing and doing my thing, and I loved it. And then and I knew that I had that talent. So then I used that through my teenage years and my early 20s, and then that's how I got into dancing for Evie Queen. I went on tour with Maya. I went on tour with La India. These are all like Spanish reggaeton singers that are famous. So I got to do a lot of that. And me and Willie Ninja were danced for La India on several occasions. And we would just, vogue behind her, just doing our
Mhm.
thing. And that was uh, another, moment that there I was on stage, and that's why I'm comfortable being Kiki, because I've been on so many stages that I'm like, oh, this is easy peasy, honey.
Mhm.
So,
You brought up Fubar. Fubar was a big part of both of our lives. I feel
yeah,
like that's where we like really bonded. Were Fubar nights.
yeah.
I have this one memory of I think it was your birthday after party with Kim Petras and Orville Peck.
Oh,
That's when
I
I
remember
thought I was
that.
in. I thought I was in love with Kim Petras. I
Uh,
mean, I am in love with Kim
I,
Petras.
I, I remember that night. It was my birthday party. I went to go see Detox at Showgirls, maybe at somewhere, and then maybe ended up at Fubar. But then Detox, without telling me, invited everybody over to my house at 2 in the morning.
We needed
And
somewhere to go. and
I
and your
know,
house was right up the street. And Detox was like, and we had Kim Petras and Orville Peck with us. And Detox is like, let's just go to Kiki's. Like, she won't care.
yeah,
It's her birthday.
yeah. And the funny thing is, I didn't get one picture because when you're in the moment of such wonderfulness, there's no time for that. And the memory of having these people in my life was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're sitting on my 10-year-old couch, or like it was just so wild and crazy. But I've had wild and crazy. MIA, Brooke Canty, Mickey Blanco, Azalea Banks, all of these people I met through Mustache Mondays, and
Mm-hmm.
became friends with them. And when they come into town, they hit me up. Hey, do you know where to get drugs, or do you know where to get the? Yeah, I'll hook you up, girl. But that's just normal for me to be amongst the best, and I love that. I don't know Kim Petras and I didn't know Orville, but I knew of them. And then once we sat down here and we started talking, I fell in love with them. They were just like amazing human beings that needed to be in my life. Destiny.
Oh, I think you're proud of working with Nina West too, right?
Oh my God, Nina West. She is the most amazing human being. I can't even tell you. She has shown me nothing but love. And for this season, a Plastic Tiara, Georges, and Nina West are going to be on it, which I got to work on a couple of their costumes.
Mm-hmm.
But when Nina West walked into to Marco's studio, I she was like screaming, Kiki, oh my God, because we haven't seen each other since her music videos that I helped her with when she was on her season.
Mm-hmm.
So it was such a wonderful reconnecting moment. And now we speak a lot more through Instagram, and I'm just so proud of her. She just became a doctor. She got her doctorate.
What?
She got her doctorate 2 days ago.
That's
Uh
amazing.
yeah, at the college or university where she graduated from. She got a doctorate in I don't know what it is, but now I have to call her Dr. West.
Oh, Dr. West, I'm totally going to congratulate her. I fucking love
Yeah,
Nina West. No, she's like a blanket of warm sunshine. And we
I
talked
mean,
about this earlier, like no, sniffing out the good in the world. And Nina West
yeah,
is the good in the world.
the bad. Yeah, she is the true definition of what a human being should be. Even if you're having a bad day and you're smiling ear to ear, that's a beautiful thing. I wish I could do that, but she has that gift. She has that gift of love. She's one of my top. Raja, of course, is my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Manila, also very close. Manila used to
We,
live with
yeah.
Manila lived here.
I'm the one that hooked that up, by the way.
Oh, okay.
No, because me and you had
Yeah,
just became friends. Manila, we had just lost Sahara. love you, Sahara. Manila and I were really close after the show. And I was like, you need to get in LA. You need to get to LA. And after Sahara passed, I was like, you have got to get to LA. And she didn't know where to live. And you were like, Chanel, you should tell her to move in with me. And then Manila moved in with you.
Yes. And this jacket that I have on, let me just show you.
Oh, for those just listening, Kiki is wearing the most amazing robe. You should sign up for my Patreon right now so you can see it.
So this, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is Sahara's coat.
Wow.
Yeah. So Sahara Davenport. She may she rest in peace. But yes, when she passed, that's when Manila moved to LA and moved in with me. And that's where pretty much a lot of the rhinestoning started. You know, she would say, "You got to help me with this." I'm like, "I don't know what I'm doing," but you know, through trial and error, we learned how to rhinestone. I mean, got Mick another one for her season. This season, I can't wait to see what she brings. But she is another one that I feel that has that
It factor.
Yeah, he.
He gets it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call her she. I call her she because she's a faggot to me.
And she's fine. She's fine with you calling her
No,
she.
I know. I'm like, I always say when we're hanging out, I'm like, girl, and I'll be like, oh, boy. I'm just kidding, girl. But yeah, I always have that with her. I love her. And Willem. Oh my God, Willem is somebody that
we can't forget Willem.
Willem is amazing human. Like, has such talent. He is so witty, so quick with his mouth. The same as Jinx Monsoon.
But it's an art form. It's not it's not a talker. It's an artistic way of speaking, to be honest.
Bianca Del Rio too. Same thing. They have that knack, that thing. Alaska as well. I did Alaska for several of her music videos. A snake video, I remember, was one of the most wonderful ones. And her album Cunty, I did her cover of the album, which was my first. No, actually, I've done other covers, but that was one of my first covers that I was like in love with. Brooklyn Heights, I did her with Sasha Colby in it, and that was way before Sasha Colby. That was another thing. But yeah, as far as RuPaul, loved all the girls. Some of them are bricks, some of them are rocks, but most of them are talented. And what you had said about, Trinity had said, it's absolutely correct. The producers, they know who they're throwing out first. So they have to get a couple of bricks in there because you can't have all the good in one. And so that's what they're doing with the show. And it's sad, but, I feel bad for the girl that always gets thrown out first. But they always give her a second chance, I think.
I do too. Yeah. And that's why I always tell girls like wait till you're ready to submit, till you feel like you are at your most polished best self, because that's what you're going to show to the world. I want to talk about, would you say you're in your third act right now?
My life?
Are you? Yeah. Would you say you're in your third act right now of your life? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely close to the end.
No, I did not mean it like that.
No, but I mean,
we talked about your first act. We talked about your second. We are not at the end of the show, Kiki. We are not.
No.
I mean, yeah. Do you feel like you're entering this third era of your life right now?
Yeah, and I'm trying to. That's where I'm trying to sift through and see what's going to stay and what's going to go. I love Kiki, but it's such a demand for me, and I'm not saying it like I'm full of myself, but I could be working 5 to 6 days a week. But do you know how hard that is?
It's taxing on your body, and you're wearing huge heels, Kiki, not little ones. They're not kitten heels.
4 hours in heels a day, and then you got to put them on the next day, and your feet are still swollen from the day before. You're like, oh my God, give me a drink.
I know, but you're getting more cardio than the average person, and your body is so tight, and your muscles, and it's like you're killing it. So maybe there is something in dancing.
my doctor told me. I said, hey, I haven't been to the gym in a minute, but I dance every night at the club. She's like, babe, dancing is a gym. Like you're going to the gym. So I'm like going to the gym 4 hours a day. Like,
Yeah. Every
uh,
like every night of the week. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. If you did the gym on top of it, that would probably be bad for your heart, to be honest.
I know. I like to do Runyon Canyon. I mean,
I
that's a,
love Runyon and I love that you do that. And you walk everywhere. That's why, like, you're like a New
yeah,
Yorker at heart. Like, you really have that, like, hustle,
yeah,
bustle. I'm going to walk. I'm going to, you know what I mean? I
yeah,
always assumed you were born in New York, to be honest with you. You just have that New York esque about
yeah,
you.
yeah. I absolutely, everybody says that to me. And I've never thought of myself as a Californian. I've always felt like there's a lot of New York in me. Every
Mm-hmm.
time when I go to New York, which is 2, 3 times a year, I feel at home there. I mean,
Same. It's like this
the,
comfort, like this, like warmness.
but I can't live there because of the weather. The
Mm-hmm.
weather,
Because we're
the
spoiled
weather.
California girls still.
Yeah, we love the weather.
We love
And
the sun.
and Hollywood and the industry that I'm in, this is where it
Well,
is.
and the
This is
family that we've created here too. We are like, we really love our family here.
yeah,
It would kill
yeah.
me to leave our family here. I want to know, let's talk about the christening because that was like a huge moment in your life and I got to be a part of it that day and witness you be christened. For those listening that don't know what the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence are, will you educate them for a second?
Yeah, they are an organization that raised money for the ones that need the money in our gay society world, fundraisers. That's all they do is raise money, raise money, raise money, and they give it all to wonderful organizations. And that's how I saw and I read through the magazines that, oh, they're doing a drive in San Francisco for this, or uh, I'm not good with names of organizations, but they did a lot of work. Like all money raised for my christening was given to my favorite organization, which is the Classroom of Compassion. Now, these people, Noah and David, they go to wherever there's a school shooting or just a shooting in general, and they built altars for these people with flowers at the sign of at the crime scene, and so that way people can say their goodbyes and pay their respects. And so I donate a lot of the money to that organization to help make somebody's life a little bit better. Just
Mm-hmm.
having that altar, and the altars are big. Like you, when you see shootings on the news and you see the president going to lay a flower or say a prayer, it's the those altars that they built, and they're my friends, and they are. I mean, they're so wonderful that they even come to my parties or my clubs and bring me a bouquet of flowers,
Oh,
and
that's
you
so
know,
sweet.
and they always say that you should always give people their flowers before they pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in that, and it's something that I just love. But the sisters are unbelievable on how determined they are, how organized they are throughout the United States. There's several chapters.
Mm-hmm. It's all over. It's all over the nation. And it's
Yeah,
actually worldwide. There's even chapters outside of the US that
yeah,
I could, when I did research, if you go to their website, you could actually see where each chapter is. But I
yeah.
remember like when I first started hanging out in West Hollywood, it was like you would always see like a nun with a white face, and that was a sister, and you always had your sister in your city that was always there. And I never even knew what the significance was until I heard about your christening and how you actually get, indicted as a sister. So how did that come
Inducted, yeah,
about for inducted? How did that come
yeah.
about for you?
Well, they all they have their meetings once a month, and in the meeting, it was every year they choose several people to be inducted. So they vote on out of all the people. And that in 22, I had won the voting of this of sainthood. And so for me, it was beyond. It was mind blowing to me. Like, you're actually acknowledging me for something that is what I live for, which is love. Love is all we need. I don't need money. I don't need clothes. It's love. Love is the only thing we're on this planet Earth for, but nobody gets it. You know, they're all stuck on materialistic things and, you know, bullshit. I just believe in love. If you got everything that you love in your life, then you're living your best life. And I'm not talking about the car in the parking lot, but you know,
I love you. It's so
but
true. Say it again.
yeah, it's all about love. And if you live by the love, then you get everything. Everything goes around, comes around. If you put out hate, you're going to get hate right back. You put out love, you're going to get it right back. And the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence never wavered. Always, always, always on the love channel. And I'm with them every step of the way whenever they ask me to be present for this or present for that. Do you know, they just brought up Willem. They want to induct
Willem
him.
would be an amazing sister.
Yeah.
Because
so
Willem lives with intention too. And the intention is always through love. Like, Willem is one of those people, like, once you are friends with her, she will give you the coat off of her back.
Yeah. She sure has. She's done it to me.
Same.
You know,
same.
When I've had when I was doing music videos a lot, I needed this, I needed that. I would go to and raid her closet because that girl, she has the best fashion.
The best, like,
best fashion. I mean, I'm a little bit bigger than her, but yeah, sure. Her fashions kill, just kill. I mean, and when another thing is that Raja, she's the top of the cream of the crop of fashion for me because she can make a piece
anything
of paper,
cool. Mm-hmm.
anything, and it's like, you know, duct tape, the rolls of duct tape.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Balenciaga just came out with these duct tape bracelets.
I saw
that are $4,000.
And Raj has been making those for years.
Meanwhile, I've have a bunch of them that Raj has given me that are just, you know, Scotch tape rolls covered with rhinestones and chains and things. She is another creative genius. Like, that is that.
Remember the I Own Everything headpiece that she made on Drag Race? I remember watching her make that out of a I had just ordered all the Queen's pizza. They ate the pizza. We had nothing to, you know, there was nothing else to do. So Raja just started creating. She made that house out of the pizza fucking box that we ate dinner out of that night. Like, that was when that guy was like, oh, this is next level. Like, next level.
Can I tell you I own that piece? And it says, I own everything.
That's the piece.
I wore it for my Margiela look because I like to get inspired by my favorite designers, Balenciaga, Margiela, and I make my own version. And I remember, oh my God, this is the perfect time to wear this because they all wore little hats in the runway show. So I wore the little hat and it says, I own everything. It's like one of my favorite things. I need to wear it again.
Yeah, you need to wear it again. So and each sister gets a name. So what is your name?
Oh, hold on. Let's see.
It's a long name, so it's okay. Find it because I know you'll want to remember this.
For those of you that can see.
Yeah, for those of you could see, Kiki has candles. Can people buy those anywhere?
No, they're sold out. They said they'll make more. It says Saint Kiki Xtravaganza, Our Lady of Glamorous Pumps, patron of Saint of all things ovinous, keeper of the sacred E6000 glue.
Forever.
That's what it says. I mean, it says a lot more, but I embodies the sisters' mission of bringing universal joy and stomping out guilt and hate. As a fabulous queen presence in the LGBTQ community, Kiki uses guerrilla improv performances to manifest the energy and excitement for her joyous persona. She's conjures the happiness and joy to connect to the community, similar to the sisters at I don't even know that word.
Ethics?
Ethics. Ethos. The visual thrills of Kiki's embodiment of nightlife, mother and sister, is itself joyful personification. Kiki's incarnation is one of courage and another word I can't pronounce because it's on a candle, so it's like on a roll. Deliverance and blissful and performance, and it goes on and on and on. But yeah, it's pretty much stating that they acknowledge me for my love and my joy, and that's all I want to be known for. Period.
We're lucky to have you in this world,
Yeah.
Kiki. We are. We're very lucky.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is there anything that you would tell your younger self, knowing all that you know right now?
I would say just life. Well, I wish I would have known things that I didn't. That I didn't know that I know now. But I didn't have social media, or I only had the newspaper and the Vogue and Harper's Bazaar and Italian Vogue at my house. So I never got to have the answers that I needed. And I wish I did. And I wish I could tell my younger self, hey, life is going to get better. Life will be better. But we need to go through these hard things in order to know what good is and what life is about. Because without the bad, then there is no good. So the good is what we strive for. And now I'm living my truest, authentic, wonderful self, and I'm full of joy. And I have a straight boyfriend.
I don't. That, and I have a straight boyfriend. You want baby Hector to know that a straight boyfriend's coming.
No, because I'm being honest. I'm not really attracted to gay men anymore. And
me either, Kiki.
and 2 years ago, I met this guy, and he has they just broke up, but he had his girlfriend for 10 years, and she wouldn't, do the duties, she only got, her pussy. And so I was like, well, I'm really good at that. So it became a habit that after work, he'd come over and I took care of him and he would leave. And that's what I love about that boyfriend. It's that I only get to see him for that minute. I don't have to deal with the emotions and, the jealousy and the all that other bullshit that comes with relationships. Like, it's just, this is what I need and this is all I want. And other than that, I'll take you on a nice dinner, of course, or I'll buy you some jacket or a little chain but I'll take care of you, but take care of my throat. And it's
you have lived a life that most will never, and we could keep going for hours. Is there anything else you want to add to your story before we wrap things up? I know you have to get to a gig soon.
Oh, I know I do. I have a gig at Mickey's tonight. Oh, I've done everything that I could possibly have done with the best of what is out there, from working with Madonna, at the MGM. Okay, so after the Blonde Ambition tour, Ruthie Instagawi, she is one of my soulmates. She dances still to this day. She's a teacher of doing aerials. She goes around the world teaching Pink, China, all over people how to do aerialist stuff. Okay, so anyway, she's a dancer for Madonna for the Drown tour and the Girly Show. And so during that time, she was on tour. She invited me to go with her to go on tour. And I said, well, I'll do the West Coast. So, because she had an extra room. So I would go, and one of the best moments was me sitting at the MGM Grand in Vegas, watching Madonna perform her wardrobe check thing and her vocals and all that thing, a run through of the show. And she was sitting singing to me and only me, because I was the only person in the audience. And for me, I was like, wow. And she'd point at me and and I was just like, nobody would believe me if I told them that Madonna just did a concert for me, for myself, for me.
Does Detox know this? This is wild.
No. I've never told anybody. I've never talked about it. But yeah, I was on tour, and I would go to a couple of the sound check, but this one I was the only one in the theater, and I'm sitting there, and she's like, "How did I do?" And I was like, bravo, you excellent, oh my God, and that to me was like a highlight of my life. And the same as the magazine cover of Rolling Stone. And I've had such wonderful experiences meeting Jean Paul Gaultier. Oh, and then meeting you were with me,
Galliano at Ivy Getty's
John
wedding.
Galliano. Oh my God, that is my idol too. And for me to have conversation with him was like, I mean, I even told him, you have no idea. I never thought in my lifetime I'd ever get to meet you, but here we are. God brought us together, and it was a wonderful moment. And you and me were also in Vogue magazine.
We totally didn't bring that up, and I just got the chills. But yeah, and that only happened because of you. Because remember, I was just standing there, and you were like, "Girl, you did not wear that dress to not get photographed." And so you were like, "Let's just keep making a loop, and someone will get our photo." And they sure did.
Yeah, it was like I mean, I've been in Vogue for my clothing line and ads and all that other shit, but I've never been photographed. So that was on my bucket list. And I was just like, oh, I did it. We did it, Chanel. We did it. We made it onto Vogue. And it was
I'll never forget that day. That was
it,
the little girl in me, like, could still cry thinking about that. And I think I never, until you always remind me of that moment, like something in me, like,
yeah.
yeah, you.
And one more thing. When I worked at that clothing store,
Mhm.
David Bowie and Iman came in, and he broke the news to me that Princess Diana had died. We didn't have phones and all that then, and
Yeah.
and he told me that, and of course, he was doing some shopping, but I was blown away that he was the one that gave me the news. Now, I don't know what reference it has, but my mother and David both passed away on the same day. The
Wow.
the, the same year, 2016. And that made me feel just a tiny bit better knowing that David and my mom are together in the Stardust.
Oh my God. I mean, let's dedicate this episode to your mama for sure.
Yes. I mean, there's moments like that that just continue to happen in my life, and I just take them and keep them in my heart. But you, Chanel, I love you so much that I'm now letting it out and expressing, my love for you by doing this, by telling my story, because I've always lived by I let my art speak for itself. I don't need people to
Mhm.
bravo, or I don't
Mhm.
need none of that. I'm happy knowing, and I'm going to sleep at night knowing, wow, I did that. I accomplished this, or I did this, or this happened, or
Yeah.
so many wonderful, wonderful moments. And yeah, my life is long. I'm still here, but who knows what tomorrow's going to bring.
Well, and
And
I just know that so many you've affected, like you've touched so many lives in West Hollywood, and so many people don't know your backstory. You know, they see you
yeah.
as this like fun loving fixture in West Hollywood, but they don't know the person behind the mask. And
Or what about me and Cameron Diaz and Tracy Lords? We were like the three amigos, And we'd go during the 90s to Hollywood parties, and we get up, girl. Me and Tracy Lords and Cameron is like, who's got it? And we would go behind the apartment or the house or wherever we were at and just. And those girls were a bad influence on me, but I love them. One was a porn star, and the other one was an actress. And yeah, that was it.
I remember people used to tell me that Cameron Diaz was a party girl, and now it is confirmed.
Oh yeah, she's like, you got any? And we used to call it Lynn. We used to call it Lindsay. Do you have any Lindsay?
Oh my God. We could keep going for hours.
I know.
Kiki. This is so good.
Oh, thank you, my love. All right.
Honestly, this is the two-parter no one even knew they needed.
Yes. Yes. I mean, we could go on and on, but I think those are the highlights.
For those listening, where could they catch Kiki Xtravaganza in West Hollywood?
Wednesdays, I'm at The Wild. Thursdays, I'm at Revolver. Fridays, I'm at Mickey's. Every other Saturday. Oh, and then every once a month Friday, I'm in Long Beach at the Falcon, which is a house music. Amazing night. Saturdays, every other Saturday, I'm at Shut Up. Not Shut Up Chanel, but it's called Shut Up at Mickey's. And then Sundays, I'm at Mickey's always, every Sunday. Because that's where the money's at.
You heard it here, people.
Okay.
Bring your dollar bills for Kiki. She deserves all of your money. You just heard everything that she's done and accomplished and is still yet to do. I feel like we'll do another one of these in a couple years, Kiki.
Yes. And I mean, I have so many more stories, but I think that I nailed the most important, the ones that mean a lot to my heart, you know? And that's what I
did. And I learned so much about you. And I think the listeners are going to learn so much about you. And this is something that you'll be able to like keep forever, you know?
Yes. I can't wait. Keep me informed on when it comes out so I could help. Because I want to share, because a lot of my friends, I told them that I'm doing my first podcast and they're like, oh, and I was like, okay, as soon as I find out, we're going to get, everybody to listen to.
This is a really good episode. I had so much fun catching up with you. I know you have to get to the gig. Gotta throw on that mask, but I like to end each episode with you telling me to shut up, Chanel.
All right. Well, Chanel, for those that can't see, I just pulled this lipstick out of my chest, and I'm telling you, you're done. Shut up, Chanel. Is that good?
It was perfect. It was perfect.
Yes.
Oh my God. Everyone go and follow Kiki Xtravaganza on Instagram.
The handle is Xtravagram with an X. Xtrava gram.
I love you so much.
I love you, Chanel.
I'm going to go smoke a fatty after this.
Fuck yeah. Shut up, Chanel. I love you.
I love you so much.